Keeping track of your grow doesn't have to be a hassle. Meet Plant Track. That's PLNTRK, a tool built by Minnesota growers for growers like you. Track every stage of your plant with intuitive progress bars for each phase. Stay on top of your grow with text reminders for watering, feeding, and photos. And when it's time to log data, it couldn't be easier. Just scan a QR code or tap an NFC tag to instantly access your plant's details and updates. You can even log your interactions for one or all your plants in just seconds. Ask detailed questions with the AI chat powered by your plant's data and get the help that you need when you need it. It's free for up to 8 plants. Go to www.plntrk.com now and start tracking your grow.
But the thing is like all the dumb shit that they say about parenthood, like the stereotypes and stuff, a lot of it does really end up being true. And then you go through it and you're like, okay. And I remember like being pregnant and having a conversation with my husband's dad. And he was like, oh yeah, when you get married, it's great. Nothing really changes though, like until you have kids. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, like we're so just like, love, yeah. And then I squeezed a 9-pound watermelon out of my body.
Yep.
Unmedicated.
Okay.
I was like, okay, this changes things, and it's just the things that exist. It's like a change in dynamic in a household, change in dynamic in sleep schedule, change in dynamic and then also like take the last year I had 3 different jobs, so like all those changes.
I've heard it described before as like, it's like going from friends to coworkers, obviously different levels, but it's like
super easily
we're super cool. And now it's like, oh, well, we're still cool, but also like, I really need you to wake up and go help that kid right now. And like, I can't, and I need you to do it. And like, you're my love and like, you're my friend, but also like, I need you to also be my coworker.
Right. And you definitely get to that place where like, you have to go, okay, are we best friends? Because like, if we are, it's not just about the, like you eat.
Yep.
Best friends. Because that's definitely where it goes to, because it's so easy to get mad at each other because your tension's just so high because you're a small being is screaming at you the majority of the time. It's just stressful.
Speaking of so high.
I love that.
Tanner.
That's so good.
Do you have a high note?
Oh my gosh, my high note from the week. Yeah, so I think my high note from this week was probably the jersey that I'm wearing today. Yesterday, I got to go to a Minnesota Frost game.
Nice.
I've talked about him a lot on the podcast before, but for those who don't know, we have professional women's hockey here in Minnesota. Incredible.
Champs.
Oh, yeah. We won the Walter Cup end of last year. We're having a great season
right?
this year.
First ever, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was so cool. It was awesome going to XL where they have like all the championship banners hung up, and I'll spoil it. The Wild, they don't have those. But now we've got that really cool Frost banner hanging up in there. And
very cool.
I dig it. So my high note was really just being able to go to the game. They were up 3, and then...
Who were they playing?
They were playing Boston.
Okay.
Boston Fleet, which actually has a number of players on the team that are Minnesota-based.
Oh, sure.
Including some that went to high school with John Dugas at Hill Murray, the guy who we interviewed for this episode. So you guys just heard that interview. His... students are now playing professionally. But
nice.
It was cool to just go see the game, to see them come back from winning, tying, and then getting that goal.
Totally.
I grew up playing hockey and then sort of lost the love of the sport as like men's sports just became like much more focused on like the fighting and the
testosterone.
Exactly. Less on the like playing good sports and more on the like throwing good punches.
Sure.
And women's hockey feels much more like the upper echelons of college, where it was like, this is just really good sport. And it's cool to see so many young girls that are growing up in an age where there is a professional route that they can go to. Like Kelly Panic, one of the players, I played hockey with her back when I was a little kid. She went to college, she got an Olympic gold, and then it's sort of like, that's the end of your hockey career. And now the PWHL is showing that there can be more. So that's really just my high note. It's a shout out to Frost, women's sports, all that cool stuff going on.
I too am a big Frost fan. But it's so funny because I've really paid attention to hockey in Minnesota since I was conscious, and you're saying like, oh, there's a emphasis on fighting and a lot of hoopla, and I'm like, really, the men's game has, especially in Minnesota, but across the league, has been much more skill based, and so it's like we are getting to that point where it's like the brutes, the enforcers, the heavy fisted dudes are kind of getting antiquated in the league, and like it's the skills players, it's the Kaprizovs, the Matthews, the McDavids.
See, and I came to age in an era where like Derek Boogaard was like the player.
He's still my favorite all time hockey player. And I'm not I've never been.
Do you know who that is?
I don't. But I love listening to the two of you talk.
Boogeyman.
Yeah, so he was a guy who was a pretty fine hockey player, but just tall, big, and a fighter.
He's 6'10" on skates.
Okay.
240, 250.
Sure.
A lot.
You don't want to be checked by that guy.
No. You don't want to be near that man.
Sure.
I could fixate on talking Boogaard for hours.
My wife and I watched a compilation of Boogaard fights a couple weeks ago because she's a new hockey fan. She didn't watch the Wild back in that time.
I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about what I know the video you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, funny.
Yeah. Shout out Frost.
Now, if I wanted to watch that kind of stuff when I was younger, like my dad and I were very big WWF before it was like, oh shoot, sorry pandas, and then WWE.
Okay.
So that like SummerSlam '99 when it came to Target Center.
SummerSlam
like, my dad bought me the belt. Like I had The Rock. Cool. He had a baseball jersey. Like so I could get into that. But that was more of the like testosterone driven stuff. And then football was always kind of not a huge thing in my house, but like a pretty big thing. So that kind of carried through now. So I am a Vikings fan and kind of connecting a few different high notes of like my sports high note related is I am a Vikings fan, and so it was very nice to watch the Vikings beat the Packers. And we are now going to play the Lions, and it's going to determine some playoff stuff, and I can't believe our record has been this high, and I just really hope like the 1998 playoffs don't happen again.
And at this point, our listeners know the results of this football game.
Oh, okay. That's exciting.
So really, we are in the past.
So we know if we have a bye or if we play on the 11th or on the 12th.
You guys will know. You guys will know.
Whew. But then also related, so sports, I was thinking of the purple, the jersey. And initially you said that your jersey was your high note. And my high note, just to keep it simple this week, was I got to go to Target with my son. And when we go to Target, he gets to get a hot cocoa.
Nice.
At Starbucks, which is cool. And so if he gets the hot cocoa, then we can usually stay for a little while. And I had to get like some Christmas gifts for people that I was behind on and blah, 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 blah. And I told him I wasn't going to go through the women's clothing section because he was being really good. And I didn't want to do that to him because that usually takes a long time for me. But on an end cap, there was like a clearance situation. And I saw this shirt and it says aperitivo, which is a typically before a dinner drink that I usually enjoy quite a lot, especially from my history in restaurants and bars and things. And I loved it. And I had the gall to wear it to my corporate America job today, and I didn't get fired.
There we go. That's pretty good.
Yeah. So I was really excited, and I bought these cool sunglasses that normally I wear on my head because I think it's like a weird fixation thing or whatever. I don't know. But Jordan said I couldn't wear them, so.
I didn't say you couldn't wear them. I said make a decision.
Well, you can wear them. We're just going to call you Marcus.
But that's funny. But I did kind of enjoy these sunglasses. I tried a few on in the store, and Gus, my son, these were the only ones that he said were okay. So these ones were Gus approved, but they kind of make me laugh because have you seen the movie, what's it called? The Hangover? And there's the baby and the thing.
Yeah.
And then you always see like the stickers of the baby on board, and it's the little baby with the glasses and the hat. After I bought them, I thought about that, and I was like, well, I'm going to keep them anyway. So I thought they were kind of fun.
I can see it, but I really like it.
Thank you. So that was my high note. We're just kind of adding some really fun accessories and trying to learn how to be me in new spaces.
I love it. Well, and
cool.
Those Target trips, I remember being a young kid and going to Target with my mom and us getting like the little packets of goldfish that I could eat as we're going around Target.
Yeah.
And I still, every time I go to Target, think like, should I get some goldfish? So
Right?
rest of your life, he's
nostalgia.
going to go to Target and he's going to be like,
Sure.
guess I got to get a hot chocolate.
Yeah. I think for me with my mom, like we went to Cub. We don't really go to Cub with Gus, but when I was a kid going to Cub, remember those little like panda crackers where they were like
Frosted.
Oh, the
No.
Hello Pandas with the stuff
with
in
the
the
stuff inside,
Yeah.
and you could do chocolate or strawberry.
Mm-hmm.
The chocolate ones, and they were in like a little hexagonal or octagonal
Yeah.
box.
It's such a fun
yeah,
box.
and
You're
when
like,
you sat up front, and you're lucky enough to get a cup holder, you just pop that thing right in there, pop it open.
Mm-hmm. They also have vanilla ones that I think are super good.
Ooh,
so.
I think I did get to have those once when I worked at the Varsity Theater in Dinkytown. There was this cute little boba shop across the street.
Yeah.
I'd go there all the time, and they had those little things, and I was like,
When did you work at the
nostalgia.
Varsity?
When it reopened, excuse me, when it was reallocated by Live Nation.
Mm-hmm.
So that was
It's like 2016.
18 or 19.
So I was living about 2 blocks from there at the time.
Oh, sure.
And so I was going to the Varsity pretty regularly. In
Oh,
fact,
really?
the last show that I saw right before the whole COVID shutdown was
Sure.
Mike Gordon at the Varsity. With a bass player for Fish, but it was like
Sure,
end of February of 2020.
Did you go to that King Crimson show?
No, I didn't.
Or no, I mean, no, it was was it King Crimson with Sean Lennon?
No.
Oh, I can't remember. Well, A, I was working there at the time, but B, that was a show that I took off, and I think it might have been for my husband's birthday, and I got us like the upper level balcony,
Cool.
dead center seats, and I didn't have to pay anything because I worked there, and that show was so good.
That's got to be
We
like
were
one of the
so
coolest
stoned, and
perks
it
of
was-
working somewhere.
It was really rad. There's a lot of cons in the pros and cons column too.
Yeah.
Like, whew.
I mean,
But-
hey, I get to watch a weekly taping of Northern Lights podcast every week.
That's true.
Like, that's a perk.
What a big benefit.
That's a perk.
Yeah, that was honestly one of the biggest things. Like when I had the job change, was I was like, "What do you mean I don't get to smoke weed at work every day? How unfair!" And then and it was like an assumed thing. And then I was finishing my onboarding training for my thing, and they were like, "You cannot be high while you're at work. You cannot consume cannabis." And I was like, "Oh,
I'm pretty sure those are recommendations.
Guidelines more.
It's like a guideline policy. No, we won't get you fired. That's yeah. It's important to follow workplace policy.
oh, yeah." But it's cool. Yeah,
I like it.
like I said, having the cool clothes and being like, "Hey, this is a thing that I can be excited about. That like means a lot to me, and I can wear it in all of the spaces that I find myself in,
Absolutely.
and that makes you feel good."
I didn't wear mine to work today, though. I wish I would have.
This is work.
I was inspired. Well, I suppose.
I consider this work for you.
I wore this jersey to work today, Jordan.
He wore this jersey to work today.
It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful piece of.
I wish that people
threads.
could see the vibrancy of this purple.
It's a really good one.
It's really lovely.
Shadow Frost.
Vikings, take note.
All right, Jordan. Round us out. What is your high note for the week? What do you
I'm
got?
gonna round us out very, very hard with a sharp left turn because
All
you
right.
guys are talking about accessorizing and your exciting moments
I
of
do like your
sports.
monotone today.
Thanks. I went very earthy today.
Green.
Yeah. All right. Fuck, marry, kill. Blunts, bongs, bowls.
All right. Oh, I like that one a lot.
Okay, wait. Okay, because I am getting a little high now, so say it again.
Blunts, bongs, bowls. Fuck, marry, kill.
All right. Are you okay if I go first?
Yes.
I would kill blunts.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried them. They're just not for me.
Yep.
I would. This is a sentence I've never said before. I would fuck a joint because it's like a good go-to, but I know I can't do it the rest of my life.
Mm.
Bong feels like I'm going to get high. I'm going to feel like a little bit cleaner about it. I'm going to have my cool rig. That feels like the marry for me. That'll be the rest of my life.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that. Kelly?
What do you think?
Nice. Yeah. So I would say, God, I mean, they're all so lovely in their own way, so it's tough. And killing is such a strong word, but I would say kill bowls.
Okay.
It was the first one, like, nostalgia, can't go wrong. But I like to sing
High
a
school
lot.
boyfriend.
Yeah.
I like to sing a lot and stuff. So like the direct, it's kind of harsh. Like I'm on my pipes and stuff.
Mhm.
So I would say do that. I would say fuck a joint.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally.
Blunts.
Always fuck a joint.
Blunts, bongs,
wait.
bowls. The
Blunts,
bees.
bongs, bowls.
See, I
So-
did it wrong.
Bongs, bowls.
Okay,
We
so
both did it wrong.
I was like, Tanner's gonna go first, so then I'll remember.
Joints
what
are
they
out of here. So blunts, bongs, bowls. All right.
Joints are not involved.
Joints,
Okay.
I mean,
I'm
yeah,
still
joints are-
killing blunts. I don't
Sure,
like them.
sure.
I don't want them.
So yours is
Killing blunts.
fuck.
Yeah, probably a bowl.
Sure.
I always feel cool doing it. It reminds me of like when I first started smoking weed,
Yep.
but I don't like it.
Sure.
I like how I
Or if you have like a really cool artisan piece or
absolutely.
something.
I used to have a Gandalf that was so terrible
Oh,
to smoke.
sure,
It was
yeah.
not fun. But
you felt-
man, did I love just like seeing the smoke trail off and being like, I am Gandalf in this
I am
moment.
Gandalf.
Yeah. So yeah, that would be for
Sure.
mine. What about for you between
Okay.
the bowls?
Blunts,
So-
bongs, bowls.
So, still kill bowls
All
as
right.
before.
For sure.
Fuck a blunt.
Okay. All right.
Fuck
Totally.
a blunt. Yeah, especially like there's this guy that stands right outside my work like 4 out of the 5 days a week, and it's 8 a.m. and he is just straight up blunt, and I'm like, respect. All right, cool. But he stands just right there. And the flavor is nice sometimes. Like sometimes I kind of like to be a girly about it. I'm like, this was a nice aperitivo. And then marry a bong.
All right. I take it.
You just can't go wrong. Marry a bong.
Yeah, I think I'm with Kelly on this. I'm even though the piece and joints are my most used vehicle
Right.
frequently, I'm marrying the bong because of kind of Tanner your reasoning. It's like feels like it's good for me.
Yeah.
Feels like I'm taking care of myself a little bit,
It's
making the
softer.
responsible long-term decision
Yeah.
based out of love and admiration. And then
Mutual respect.
I'm fucking
And
a
love
blunt.
and admiration for others because
Exactly.
it's vapor, not
Yeah.
as harsh of a scent in the space you're in.
Yeah, I don't no, but yeah. And then I'm fucking a blunt because it's exciting and like you kind of like you're like, oh my god, am I being flirted with right
Yeah,
now?
that's true. It's sort of about the rush of it.
It's
Every
it's like
once in a
the
while?
anticipation. It's
Yeah.
like the build
Your
up,
girls'
and then
night?
you're like, yeah, like who am I? Who am I right now?
Sure.
Wow. I like that we both brought games in today, but that they were just very different
Quite
types of
different
games.
Yeah. That's how we operate, Tanner. We are two sides of a weird looking coin.
See, and now I want to do like the dab version of this. Like it's
that's-
like hot nails, like
That's where the idea
Blowies.
started, but I wanted to get a little more just like zoomed out.
Yeah,
like
and
that one.
especially because
That's a
I
good
would
one.
not be able to speak to that one. I'd be like,
right.
I don't know. Can I just talk about my beaker bong?
well. So
And-
actually, one thing that you can speak to while we have you here, do you mind settling a dispute for us?
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to.
So earlier in the episode and earlier in our recording today, so people already know, we tried a new Tanner's Chirp tasting. We gave it a smell.
I was hoping that I was gonna make it earlier. I even texted Jordan, and he was like, "Oh, we did it first." And I was like, "Fuck, I don't get off till 3:15."
Yeah, so we really need you for this one because we had a
this is fun.
disagreement
Yay.
in the studio about what it smelled like. And so we're going to give you the jar. You can obviously see from the outside what type of oil it is.
Sure.
But I'm not going to tell you what I thought it smelled like or what Jordan thought it smelled like.
Okay.
We're just curious, like, what notes do you get from this? Knowing that there is no wrong answer, right? It's like asking, what color do you see? Man, it looks blue. Okay, well, I disagree, but sure.
That's what's lovely about the world of wine.
Exactly.
And, you know,
That's what I said.
that's
Yeah,
what
so
I
here is
said.
Sour Papaya by Hashi Gilmore. People can go back in the episode, watch our review of it. But do you mind smelling that and just letting us know, what do you think it smells like?
Sure. My hands are kind of sweaty, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to.
No, you're
Okay,
good.
here
It's
we go,
also
here we
not
go.
a great jar.
There we go. Now the pressure's on.
No. There's
And
really
if anyone that
no pressure.
anyone that watches this like actually knows anything about wine, they're gonna be like, "You're a
Well, here,
Open
no,
your thing for your
I
other
guess
people.
what we
No,
can
I'm
do
just
to
kidding.
give you a little bit of a lead is that I thought that this oil smelt pretty rancid, like it had gone bad.
Sure, but think about a sour papaya.
For sure.
That's the name of the strain, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you think about a sour papaya, like it would probably start to ferment,
Yeah.
and it would probably start to get into funk land.
Others got a little bit more of the sweetness of it, like a little bit more of that like natural fruitiness.
I'm almost getting like a sweet white floral.
Okay. All right.
But could go into kind of like a honeysuckle territory.
Okay. Totally.
Sorry, that's probably like really loud breathing.
Oh no, that's why people listen to the show is the ASMR of it.
ASMR.
Oh yeah, we love to
Yeah.
do our best Marcus impersonation, which is just going,
Oh wait, that's me when I'm snoring.
but then like so much longer.
Yeah,
I can't-
it
I
20
can't.
times
Shout
longer.
out, Marcus.
I really can I like
You want to try
really
some?
want to just like stick my freaking nose in there, but I don't want to be gross.
Should we get you a taste of it real quick?
Maybe a teeny one.
All right.
Can
This
you do it
is
with me?
oh, absolutely.
Yay.
So this is the conclusion of Tanner's Chirp Tasting from earlier. For some of those that were watching and saw our rating of it.
Is it the epilogue?
So I will
Yeah, the
say,
epilogue.
kind of based on if you said that one person was kind of getting more funk, I would not go funk.
Okay.
I would go a tad more floral, and a bit more on the like fruity, like a. I don't think it's a sour gone bad papaya,
Mhm.
if that's kind of what they're going for. I think it's more of a ripe papaya with sour notes. Like if you were going to make like a sour beer out of papaya or
Okay.
something. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that one better. I feel like it's a little more user friendly.
Yeah.
Plus, it feels like I'm using a Nintendo Switch, which is nice.
Yeah, the Puffco versus the Rig is definitely
It feels
I'm
like
a girly. What can I
it,
say? Woo,
it
deep
feels
down.
like
I'm
Mac
actually a
versus
tomboy.
PC.
yeah. This is the Apple of the cannabis world.
I
would-
listened to a
would
lot
agree
of
with that.
Judge John Hodgman, who was so John Hodgman, very funny guy. Listen to his podcasts, as well as this one.
Friend of the
obviously.
John Hodgman, in my mind, is
I'm not
the
trying to
first
endorse, but he's
podcaster.
wonderful.
He's like the first.
Well, because he
podcaster.
works with Jesse Thorne,
Yeah.
and Jesse Thorne was arguably in a lot of
Yeah.
people's minds like
Right.
the first because he had Bullseye, right?
Mm.
Did you listen to that show?
Nope.
You might like it.
I was a like G4 gaming. Like that was the first podcast. That was like 2005,
Yeah.
6.
Did
That
it
was-
surprise you that Radiolab was my introduction to podcast?
Radiolab
That
was
makes total
Radiolab
sense.
was my like, oh shit, this is like absolutely like the medium of content that I want to
Yeah.
like engage with. Like Radiolab really broke
Mhm.
open the journalistic bounds of what I believe to be
Do you
possible.
Friends
guys
of
do
the show?
99% invisible?
Friend of yeah,
yeah, that's a good
99%
one.
invisible.
So good.
Radiolab did an interesting cannabis podcast not that long ago
Fun.
that had a lot of things that I disagreed with, but
Sure.
also a lot of things that I agreed with. And that's,
Mhm.
I think, the hallmark of a good podcast.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I do.
Sorry. So now you've
I was
tried
like, what were we
it.
talking
You've done
about?
this smell. Yeah, no. It's
Dabs.
cannabis podcast.
Yeah, so I would have to say, if I were to settle an argument, let me just give it one more
Oh, yeah,
whiff
absolutely.
especially now that I've had some.
Mm-hmm. You've got that full experience of it all.
Because it's actually up literally in my olfactory bulb now. I would have to go more on the sweet floral side, I think.
All right.
Fruity still, but
Jordan's right.
Boom, boom, boom. The palate knows.
There we go.
Yeah.
See, and that's what I love about this is there's no wrong answers. And even if I do say something wrong, we had some good hash, and that's
definitely.
nothing wrong about that.
It's not right or wrong, Tanner.
There we go.
You
It just is.
hashed it out.
Aha. You
Kelly-
just had to terp about it a little bit. Yep.
Oh, you guys don't
It's
have
like
your headphones on
crickets.
right now. so
Oh,
you-
but we could. Yeah. There we go.
but I did a rim shot and then crickets to really
funny.
show the impact of like the funniness and
And the
not
lack.
funny. I'm just kidding.
Can you
Kelly.
tell I have a toddler at home?
All right, this camera's about to die.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up here. But, guys, truly, thank you so much for listening to another episode of Northern Lights. We'll be back in a week. We're back to our regular rotation. In the meantime, find us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, all that jazz. Shout out to the Dabbler Depot. Thank you guys so much for having us here at the Seed and Sesh. Such a fun time. Come on down 951 Payne Avenue. But for this week, that's all we got. We'll be back in your feeds in just a week here. See you later, everyone. Happy New Year. Northern Lights is a Minnesota Cannabis College production. This episode was produced by me, Tanner Barris, and by Steve Eigenman and Jordan Witt. Production assistance from Marcus Harkis, Shayna Payton, and John Barty. Video and audio recording at the Dabbler Depot studio by Jordan Witt. The information provided in this podcast does not and is not intended to constitute legal advice, but is instead for general information purposes only. No listener should act solely on the basis of information provided without first seeking advice from their own legal counsel. The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Minnesota Cannabis College. Please listen responsibly.